Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. It's great to be here. Your question is one that definitely has to be at the center of our conversations in the public sector, because the truth is that without partnering with the private sector, we can't really do what we are tasked to do. That is, close the digital divide, provide opportunities for everybody in the economy, make sure that the twin transitions of the economy, the digital and green, do not leave anybody behind, because we need to, it's easy to forget when you walk around here that there are a lot of people who still don't have basic digital skills. There are people who are digitally illiterate, people who cannot participate fully in the economy, in the society, in the democracy without access to digital skills. And so the public employment services of Europe, and I belong to one of the countries, Greece, face this major challenge, which is how do you ensure that the entire workforce, from the youngest to the oldest, are able to participate and contribute in the economy. And in our case, in order to do that, we looked for solutions, and obviously we reached out to big tech, all the big tech companies, including Huawei, and we've partnered and we've had a lot of success in providing the unemployed, including with a focus on women, because I was hearing about the gender gap that is being discussed. And what we did is we came together and designed programs that allow people to go and learn things that the companies demand right now in the economy. Things that are not just things to learn for the sake of learning, things that you can learn and immediately become much more employable and have access to labor market entry or re-entry. So that is beneficial for those who participate, but it's also beneficial for our own organization, because by partnering with big tech companies and with the private sector, we find out about the latest trends, we find out about the methodologies that they use, we find out about their plans for what's coming ahead. Let's be honest, most times companies know more about what's coming down the road in the economy than government does, because they're in the market all day and they plan for the future and they get intel and they see what's happening and what's coming forward. So for government to partner with the private sector, I think is a no-brainer, and it's actually a necessity. And more we see public employment organizations such as mine reaching out and doing these sort of collaborations, because it's a win-win and the benefits are significant at many different levels.
Turn back to you, Spyros, about last year being the European Year of Skills. What impact did that have on the Greek Public Employment Service?
Not only in Greece, but across Europe. This was a monumental event. So Europe decided that 2023 was going to be the European Year of Skills, and it became the vehicle for a raising of the awareness among the population in Europe about the critical importance of constant upskilling and reskilling. You know, many of us grew up in a world where you went to school, then you went to college or to a vocational education institution, you graduated, you got a job, and never set your foot again in a classroom. That model is dead. That doesn't exist anymore. We're all gonna constantly have to learn. That's gonna have to be part of our jobs. In order to succeed, we're gonna have to constantly adapt and learn new things. So in 2021, the leaders of Europe set a very ambitious goal. They said that by 2030, we want at least 60% of the population to participate at least once a year in upskilling, reskilling. As you can imagine, that is a very high bar, but one that we're going to have to meet if we are to succeed in achieving all of the goals that we've heard from our speakers today. Economic growth, social cohesion, community empowerment, making sure nobody's left behind, etc., etc. In order to achieve these things, we're going to have to make sure that people have access to training opportunities, and not only just to any training opportunities, to quality training opportunities, training that leads to jobs, training that leads to economic ladders of opportunity and success. And so in that context, what has happened is that many countries, including Greece, used a new funding source, the Recovery and Resilience Facility, billions of euros, which was used after the pandemic to speed up the recovery and make sure that the pandemic was left behind, and have invested significant funding in exactly doing that, upskilling and reskilling of the population. Greece itself, which is a small country of 10 million people, has put a goal of educating 500,000 workers and unemployed by 2025. We're already at 50%. We've educated 250,000 of them, and we're going to continue down that path. I believe that the challenge now is to make sure that what happens after the European Year of Skills, is the momentum continued? Is this something that we're going to have to build upon? And I believe that regardless of what we decide, because it's a necessity that comes out of the economy, out of life, I think that the focus, the laser focus that has been placed on skills in the past year is going to continue. To that end, and I'm closing with this, we need all hands on deck. And when I mean all hands on deck, we mean public, private, for-profit, non-profit, all ages, everybody, it has to be all-inclusive, because nobody can do it alone. Nobody can achieve everything that we've described by working alone. And so, closing, I want to thank again for the invitation, Huawei, for the opportunity to partner, and for having such an investment in partnerships that actually have an impact. Thank you very much.
Thank you.